Alright, welcome back to We Play Games. I'm Walker, and we're about to play episode 5 of China Stands Up here on Victoria 3 Open Beta 1.2. We've defeated the Europeans a couple of times. Right now, we're getting sucked into a war against the British on the side of Benin to prevent them from becoming a puppet. We'll probably back down there. But we are on the warpath. We've broken Bengal free from British suzerainty, and we are rivals towards Russia, but I think we'll want to get at least breech-loading artillery on the books before we try to fight a land war with them. Once you have breech-loading artillery, you can really pound people who don't, but we don't have enough of a military advantage that I want to fight them just yet. But we've also taken Australia, so we'll probably end up annexing them sometime during this episode just so that way we can colonize them with good, loyal pops. Don't pay attention to what's going on up here with loyalists and radicals. Everybody's loyal whether they know it or not. Even the people who are threatening revolution are loyal in a sense because they're going to be helping us push through some interesting laws. But we do need to fire Hu Li. This guy's a jingoist, literati, general, and politician, but ultimately we want to get nihilists in charge of our literati, and unfortunately I don't think that's going to work if we have that guy hanging around. So we're going to get rid of him. Hopefully we'll get a nihilist back. But for now we do have a pretty useful politician around because we have a nihilist in charge of our industrialists, which means that at least nominally the industrialists might actually help us throw the monarchy out. Yeah, we're just gonna immediately capitulate out of that Benin war. I don't care about helping them. We were only in that fight because we offered them an obligation to buy a trade agreement with them, which I don't know. I was greedy. But we found a nihilist armed forces character, so we'll promote him. And of course, the reason that we're going to be hiring and promoting characters with positive inclinations towards Council Republic is just to maximize the chance that whenever an interest group leader retires, that somebody useful takes control. We got restricted child labor. All right, so with restricted child labor on the books, we are going to need to dramatically increase the amount of bureaucracy we have access to. In this case, I'm just going to overbuild it. We don't have shift work yet, but that's okay. We will at some point. But we're 14 months away from dynamite, and another 26 months away from steel frame buildings. And then once we have steel frame buildings, oh boy, we can build like crazy. Yeah, let's see if we can expand our customs union in Central Asia by just bankrolling people. Whoa. Whoa, there is a revolution in France. Oh boy. All right, well, you know what? We have kind of used the French for a really long time. I think we should probably go ahead and help them out. We'll consider this back payment for all of their help thus far. Oh man, we're up to 103 unspent innovation. I'd like to get our unspent innovation at least to where our weekly innovation is, just so that we can really, really juice all of our tech spread. All right, war with radical France has broken out here. Yeah, we're gonna win based off of numbers alone on some of these fronts. Well, France, you're welcome. Brazil wishes to enter into an alliance with us. Why? France, you broke your alliance with us? You jerk. Well, we'll offer them an obligation to form the alliance again, and we'll begin improving relations. Not sure why they broke it. We'll try one more time. Yep, looks like the civil war in France is still progressing. What did radical France even really look like? It was another constitutional empire. I love it when we have all of these air quotes radical countries emerging, and they always look pretty similar, right? Monarchy, censorship, radical stuff. Well, now there's something interesting going on in Prussia over here. They have had a radical uprising of their own. I think in this case, we're actually going to declare neutrality. We are friendly with Prussia, but we don't have a defensive agreement with them. It looks like they probably broke it off at some point. France, did you really break your alliance with us again? You guys are colossal jerks, and I hope you know that. All right, 25 months for steel frame. But we have dynamite on the books, so let's go ahead and just expand our explosive industries. It's usually pretty good. It's not critical that we have a great power ally moving forward, simply because as we move into a Council Republic, the old powers of Europe will of course get incredibly hostile towards us. But it is helpful to have an ally if you can find one. This is a pretty ridiculously huge gold reserve that we've built up here, but I think it's going to be helpful because whenever we get steel frame buildings on the books, I think we're going to go ahead and just switch everything over because I'd like to double our construction pool roughly every 10 years. And so one way to easily do that, of course, is just find a steel frame buildings in those 10 years. It's cute that the French think they can import our steel. We'll sign a trade agreement with them, but I don't know if I will find out if we end up signing another alliance with them or not. Oh yes, we can turn Argentina into a protectorate. So we have all of these radicals because we have standard of living below expected minimum. So of course, as we increase our literacy and as we pick up new techs, then people are going to learn about, standard of living in the rest of the world. But here is Great Qing, we still have like 50% peasants or something. Yeah, 57.3% peasants. And we also, of course, have quite a lot of unemployed and quite a lot of laborers. And so there's a lot of people in Great Qing who still have a relatively low standard of living. But because we've increased literacy so much, we no longer have the benefit in regards to having a very low expected standard of living. So we'll be buried in radicals for a little while. But hey, that's why you work on law enforcement, right? Prussia wishes to enter into a trade agreement with us. Is this Radical Prussia? It is Radical Prussia. And this is a real Radical Prussia. This is a republic. You know what? We actually might find a new ally. France has yanked us around enough that I wouldn't feel bad looking to Prussia for a new alliance. All right, we're officially up to 127 unspent innovation versus 120 spent innovation and counting. But it's absolutely critical as Great Qing that once you get your economy sorted out, and actually really even going back to the very beginning, that you prioritize pushing your innovation to the absolute limits, because you get a lot out of it. Oh boy, and we're picking up tech spread on shift work. That's also going to be something we're going to get a lot out of. Holy mackerel. All right, we got steel frame buildings. So you guys ready to import all of the steel in the world? And of course, now that we're switched over to steel frame buildings, we are going to have a lot of import routes in regards to like wooden stuff that's just not useful anymore. So anytime you have really big technologies like that, go ahead and make sure that you purge all of your unproductive trade routes. You don't have to do it all the time because it's not like it's hurting our economy that much to be selling a tiny amount of furniture to Italy. But, sometimes you get opportunities to do stuff and that can be fun. And you know what? Why don't we go ahead and just annex Australia? We'll turn Australia into a nice big mine for us. Now, I suppose it makes sense for Western Australia to be resisting here because they don't want to get annexed. Austria wants an alliance with us. I'm fine with that. The Austrians, they still have a relatively sized navy. It's actually the same size as the French now, and they're more literate. Boy, maybe an alliance with Austria is better than an alliance with France. And now the Manchurian armies are marching through Australia. Oh man, and we got breech loading artillery. All right, well, with shrapnel artillery online, I think we actually might be able to take a fight with Russia, maybe the British, somebody, one of these great powers. Ooh, or maybe just Bengal, punch down. All right, we annexed Western Australia. Ooh, Afghanistan and Kalat will both join our customs union without even us using an obligation, and Portugal will join just via us offering them one. Ooh, our customs union is going to get big. All right, so there is an Australian secession building in the background, but that's okay. We can just go over there and smash them when we're ready. Oh, baby, we got mutual funds. Awesome. So mutual funds is going to be really, really helpful here just because we do have Gaolu here, who is a nihilist industrialist, and that means that by slapping publicly traded on everything, not only are we going to have access to way more money because we're in laissez-faire, but it'll actually give political power to the people who want to abolish private ownership. Oh man, and we just hit shift work. Shift work is going to be huge. We are about to witness the Australian secession try to break away, but I think this might be an opportunity for us to just attack Bengal. Bengal hasn't been openly hostile to us so far, but if we attack them and we force them to liberate a bunch of countries, that'll be huge for our economy. Anytime anyone tries to puppet one of the remains that we're going to release here, I think we can defend them successfully. So yeah, let's ban slavery in North India. But I think our real goal is going to be liberate Baroda, and you know what, we'll liberate Ceylon, and we'll just make both of those primaries. And then if they make us fight, we'll take war reps, but we'll see if they back down or not. Because what we're going to do is mobilize all generals, and then if anybody comes in from out of the woodwork to protect Bengal, we can do a little bit of conscription too. We have the money. Alright, war with Bengal has broken out at the same time as this little Australian uprising. But I think we should be able to make quick work of both. We're defending alongside the Sikhs in Punjab and just gonna push in through Bengal over here. Yeah, we're absolutely dumpstering Bengal out here. And of course, as soon as we're done fighting in Australia, all those troops will be able to move to India as well. But wow, we are just absolutely thrashing them out here. It makes sense. It looks like they're fighting with line infantry, mobile artillery, whereas we have skirmish infantry and shrapnel artillery. So that's a pretty lopsided fight. Ooh, all right. So we have cut into northern Bengal. So this war really is over now, and now it's just a question of how long it takes us to put them down. So our ultimate goal, of course, is if we can cut them down below great power status, then we can take treaty ports inside of Bengal, at which point, we will basically be in control of India. But that's a little farther down the road. Oh, we can pull Baroda and Ceylon into our customs union immediately by just offering them obligations. And we got gantry cranes. All right, so with gantry cranes online, it's all off to the races now. Because we can switch into full ironclads. All right, let's take another shot at enacting compulsory primary school. We failed the last one because we got a really bad stall roll, but we might get lucky this time. Well, of course, a movement to preserve restricted child labor has emerged, so we'll see. We might not get compulsory primary school through, but we don't necessarily need it. All right, Russia has sided with radical Sweden against us. So this diploplay doesn't allow adding additional war goals. Well, that's unfortunate. Man, it sure would be nice if we could add additional war goals here, but hey, at least Great Britain is also having a hard time. Although it's going to be another revolutionary emperor, and this one's a hedonist, bandit, devout, moderate. Revolutionary Great Britain, where did you find this guy? Minus 65 popularity. All right, so we've got our war with both radical Sweden and with Russia here. But I think because we're going to be able to push straight through this little radical Sweden slice down here, I'm not that afraid of Russia. Oh, Sikh Empire broke their alliance with us. Everybody's out here breaking alliances with us. These AIs, they ain't loyal. I think that's a common complaint that I see on like Reddit and whatnot, but I think that is actually fairly accurate. The AI needs some sort of trust system, I think, so that way longer standing alliances actually mean something. Because the way it stands right now, they can be really disloyal pretty quickly. It's going to be unlikely that we'll get our literacy up to where we really, really want it to be, which is, like 90% plus, but that's going to be hard. Oh man. All right, we can use an obligation and turn Egypt into a protectorate. That's what we're hoping that we can do with Brazil, but if we can't, not the end of the world. Now we're just chewing through unspent innovation. We probably don't need any more universities to really make this hum. And we can turn Colombia into a protectorate. That's really good. Well, we got field hospitals, so I guess it's time for us to get everybody in the army addicted to opium. Only 14 more months until pump jacks. That's going to be really, really good for us. Because A, that's going to let us start accessing our own oil, but B, and way more importantly, that's going to explode our economy. France, are you getting into another civil war over here? In this case, it looks like the new radical France might be a better trade partner for us, so we'll see. French sucked us in on this war by using the obligation that we offered them to get their alliance back the last time they broke their alliance with us. No, compulsory primary school, not like this. Well, the god-worshipping society is moving, so now I think it might be time for us to go ahead and try to use total separation, because that's a way for us to get around Heavenly Kingdom, and that's another way to leverage our nihilists here, of course. Abolish state religions, and you can counter god-worshipping society all on your own. I don't know about France. These guys have been jerks to us all episode. Ooh, the shogunate will join our customs union if we just give them an obligation. And they've abandoned defend our borders. Absolutely beautiful. There's a good chance that we can make Japan into a protectorate. That would just be fantastic. Well, it sure looks like radical France is gonna take control out here. Sucks to suck, France, but you did this to yourself, buddy. Oh my god, we actually have more gainfully employed people than peasants now, finally. Oh, we can even kick the literati out of government and have a righteous government. That'll speed up our attempts to enact total separation by quite a lot. Now, we are going to be dropping down into our credit by dropping our taxes like this, but I think it's worth it, because if we can get total separation done, I'll feel pretty good. Oh my god, and we have a nihilist in charge of the armed forces now. Oh man, and that means we can bring them in, and now we have a 98% 98% legitimacy government with 2 nihilists here. Ooh. And that's why you pay attention to your generals, especially when you're trying to do something specific like this. Any sort of tools you can use to boost your chances really pays off. Oh man, there it is. We got pump jacks, and we are... Oh, total separation got minus 15% on their roll. But with pump jacks online, we can really explode our growth. Might require for us to do a little bit of brief importation, but that's okay. We're working on some more motor industries right now. And of course, once the economy settles, then those big swings won't be as important. Every time you introduce a new technology, it can just be pretty stressful, but only for a little bit. Revolutionary Ecuador, what are you doing? We just need one reasonably lucky roll on total separation, and we should be good. Enact total separation, August 1886. You can do it. Ooh, the Maori uprising has actually spread into our territory in New Zealand. We're still making some progress in Australia. There's so much turmoil here, though. Wow. Oh man, we can sell 10 levels of opium to the British. So, I guess we won the opium wars for sure, huh? Oh, Philippines is just trying to join our customs union all on their own. Oh, great. And we already had an obligation lined up, so they sort of just bought themselves into a protectorate status. I'm proud of you, Philippines. All right, so I think we're going to pause it there, and we'll resume by crushing the Maori uprising, but I think we have a political arrangement here that is good enough. See what happens if we kick the scholar officials out. Oh my god, we can build a pure nihilist government and still have above 25 legitimacy. So we might use industrialists, armed forces to switch into Council Republic. That'd be really, really funny. So yeah, let's see how that turns out in our next episode, because I think we're there. I think we've done the foundational groundwork that we need to switch into Council Republic. And then we'll see if we can pull the rural folk and the trade unions in on this. Right now, our trade unions are a jingoist, and the rural folk, despite being incredibly mad for a very long time, have somehow managed to find themselves beholden to a moderate. So they haven't been pushing for extreme changes, but because we just abolished state religion, I think we're going to very rapidly start moving away from any sort of use of authority, which is good, because, you know, if you divorce yourself from your addiction to authority, that can be pretty good. Get you to something fun. But yeah, we'll see how that turns out on our next episode of China Stands Up. We really have done, I think, all we need to make sure that this will be a painless transition. We have tons of extra bureaucracy, so of course we could have expanded our home affairs even further, but I wasn't really sure if we were going to be staying with secret police, because once we flip into a council republic, it might be more useful, honestly, for us to move into right of assembly and pick up guaranteed liberties. Oh man, the poor Europeans and their GDPs, though. In their defense, they have struggled an awful lot in regards to rebellions, but we are definitely clobbering them. Oh, but we have 9 great powers, so that's pretty cool. We'll see what we can do about that once we have the revolutionary spirit. All right, that's Walker. Take care.